Here's a fact. Corporate recruiters spend an average of just 6 seconds on each resume that comes across their desk. Well, in this video, we're going to teach you how to break that 6-second barrier and get your resume read and get called in for an interview. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Bill Cicchino, and this is Best Job Tips. First of all, let me say I am not a career counselor. I'm not a life coach. I am a working recruiter, and I've been one for over 25 years. Day in and day out, I'm reviewing resumes, interviewing candidates, writing them up, and sending them in to clients who will be hiring them. So here's what I'm trying to do. I've decided to put together a video series, and this is the first one, thanks for tuning in, that will give you real life advice from a working recruiter who will tell you the truth about what you have to do to find a job, get through the interview, and successfully negotiate your salary. Now, a lot of that advice you're not going to like because I'm going to tell you hard truths. And let's start off with this first one we're talking about here. I titled this video, "The Biggest Mistake You Can Make on Your Resume," because there are so many mistakes you can make on your resume. As you know, 50 of them at least. You could misspellings, grammar mistakes, formatting mistakes, going in chronological order versus reverse chronological order. There's just so many mistakes you can make. But here's the thing. Shakespeare could write your resume. It could be perfect. It could have all the action words and wonderful description, everything you can imagine. But here's the biggest mistake you could make, even if you did that: not getting it read. And that's where this 6-second barrier comes in. We know recruiters spend just an average of 6 seconds on each resume that comes across their desk, which obviously means sometimes it's even less. I'm a recruiter, and I have people who work for me, and I'm telling you, we don't spend more than that on a resume. If we did, we'd be reviewing resumes literally all day long. And it will help to get your mind around this. And the mistake that I'm talking about will be completely obvious if we have a good sense of what does a recruiter do, a corporate recruiter. So these are the people that you want to see your resume and read as much of it as possible to where they're going to look it through and say, okay, I'm bringing this person in for an interview. And that's the first step, or actually the second step in this case, of getting the job. So what do recruiters do? Well, first of all, they work for the hiring manager, and the hiring manager is the person who is actually going to make the hire. In other words, the HR recruiter who works for the hiring manager screens the people that the hiring manager will get to then interview and decide if they're going to work in their department. So who's the important person right off the bat? Well, obviously, it's that HR recruiter. And almost every company works this way. Certainly really small companies might not. They might have less steps. It might just be the hiring manager. But the tips I'm going to give you here will hold true for either one of those scenarios. So an HR recruiter, they do a lot of different things, but their primary job is to fill open positions in their company. And what does that mean? Well, it means they're going to use lots of sources to get these candidates. And the primary sources are posting, which that could be everything from LinkedIn to Indeed, and they're going to be getting tons of resumes from there. They're going to also post the position on their own website, which again, their ATS, their applicant tracking system, will be pushing out tons of resumes to them. And then people like myself, headhunters, we're sending in resumes on jobs they've given us to work on. So what does all that mean? Well, it means they're inundated with resumes. I'm inundated with resumes, okay? And I'm just one person. Imagine if you're a corporate recruiter and you've got 5 different headhunters working for you. You've posted the job all over the place. They simply cannot spend 10 minutes reviewing every resume. It's impossible. That's all they'd ever do. So here comes that 6-second barrier. What do you need to do to guarantee you are going to break that 6-second barrier? Well, here's the obvious one. Do not be too broad. Be specific in what you do. Now, I want to make very clear, I'm not talking about sending in your resume for a position where you literally want to change careers, okay? which is doable. It's hard. And in the best of markets, once you've got about 10 years doing whatever you do, I'm being honest with you, it's brutally hard to do that, but it's possible. However, that's a completely different strategy than what I'm talking about here. And we're going to do a video about that. So if you're interested in this kind of stuff, please go below, click subscribe, click the bell. It will give you updates on when these videos are coming out. And we're going to do that. But this video is about specifically when you're looking for a job that if it's not exactly what you do, it's damn close to what you do. And here's what you need to do. When I see these resumes and I can spot a resume that's been made by an outplacement firm or a career counselor from a mile away, they have these ridiculously broad and long objectives. I read a resume just this morning. I read the entire objective, which was about a big, bulky paragraph, and then I started reading their actual functional description. I was halfway through the resume, and I had no idea what they do. And I've been doing this for 25 years. You are not going to get through that 6 seconds if that's the kind of broad resume you have. You have to be specific, okay? Now, I'm not saying you can't have a robust description of what you do, but don't put this long objective together because they're not reading it. Corporate recruiters, because they only have 6 seconds or an average of 6 seconds, their eyes are going right to what does this person do? And do they do what I'm recruiting for? Okay, are they an accountant? Are they a pharmaceutical salesperson? Are they a plant manager? That's what they're looking for. If you don't have that on there, they're not going to waste their time. I won't waste my time. Look, I get resumes every day, and you want to give people the best chance. That's how I get paid. That's how I make money. So obviously, it's completely in my best interest to get the people who are right for the jobs I'm recruiting for, just like it is for the corporate recruiter. But I can't spend 10 minutes trying to look through this resume where it's written in the sense where this person could be everything from an astronaut to an accountant. You can't do that. You have to be specific about what you do. Now, in terms of making that resume robust, you have to keep something in mind. Your resume should be a living document. And what do I mean by a living document? Well, you want to tweak your resume for every job you're sending in for. And I want to make very clear, I am not suggesting that you're going to completely rewrite your resume for every job you send in. That's ridiculous. It's counterproductive. I mean tweak, okay? And the way you will tweak it is by knowing the position description. Notice I said knowing the description, not just reading it over. So let's talk about the description quickly. Every position description is made up of two primary sections, as you know if you've seen them. There's the functional section, and then there's the requirement section. Now, here's where tweaking comes in on your resume. Under that functional section, think about yourself. If you were making a position description for someone to work for you, what's the first 2 points you would put in? Well, you would say, here's what the job is, the title of the job, and here's the 2 or 3 things that are most important. Now, lots of functional descriptions, they may have 10 points. They may be 2 pages long. But even those descriptions, the top 1, 2, 3 bullets that they put on there, they're the most important. And again, now let's go to the corporate recruiter. That's what they have on their mind when they're giving you that first 6 seconds. They're looking for that in the description of what you do and what your title is. Now, the second part of the position description is the requirements. It's kind of the opposite. The first 2 or 3 requirements are usually what, you've done whatever the title of the job is for X amount of years and whatever kind of education they want you to have. But then when you look down after that, you're going to see the qualities that this hiring manager is looking for. And again, if you're making it up, after you say, well, here's what they have to have in terms of years of experience, you're going to be like, well, what kind of person do we want? We want a go-getter. We want someone who doesn't mind traveling or likes to travel. We want someone who has really strong written presentation skills. Well, if you read that, again, you can put that in a very pithy and short objective. And again, you can combine that stuff into the description of what you do, your description of your job. So that's my advice. Again, please subscribe if you think this is something, these videos will be something you'll be interested in. We're really interested in what your comments are. So please, down in the bottom, if you have any questions, if you have any areas that you want me to cover, any suggestions, please put comments in there. I will respond to all of them. And lastly, check out my affiliate links. There's a lot of really useful stuff down there that you should check out that might help you in this whole process. Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.